everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Watch or Not, the recap of the finale of The Last of Us, episode 9. Look for the light. Carol Ann, do not go into the light. Carol Ann.
Carol Ann.
This house is clean. No, it ain't, bitch. No, it's not. It's not clean.
I've never seen Poltergeist, but I know what you're talking about.
Seen Poltergeist?
I've never seen it, but I know exactly what you're referencing.
It's one of my favorite scary movies, to be honest.
I actually started rewatching Screams again. I hadn't watched them in forever, so I started watching Scream the other day.
You need to like just stop that, pick that up later, and watch the first Poltergeist. So good.
Okay, we'll do.
So good. With Major Dad, is that his name? Or Coach? Craig something. What's his name?
Oh, yeah.
Who was Major Dad?
It was, I know who you're talking about. He's the guy who played Coach. It's
yeah,
Nelson.
Was it Coach or was it Major Dad?
It was Coach, but it was Nelson something. I can't ever think of it was like Craig
Nelson.
Craig T. Nelson. That's what it is.
Yeah, so Craig T. Nelson did it. Go even watch that watch Poltergeist. Go watch it.
Hey,
tomorrow.
We are here to talk about The Last of Us, not Poltergeist.
But I need you to watch Poltergeist.
Okay,
can you go watch it, please?
I'll find somewhere I can watch it. Yes.
Watch it tonight.
I will try to find some streaming service has to have it on there.
You can watch it right now and pay $4 and watch it on Apple TV.
Will you give
Prime
me
Video.
Will you give me $4?
Bitch, this movie is worth $4. You would have saw Ant-Man. You paid $15 to go see Ant-Man, and you can't pay $4 to go see Poltergeist?
I didn't pay for it. I had movie vouchers and coupons and like gift cards from Christmas.
Bitch, if you don't shell out $4 and watch fucking Poltergeist, I almost said Fulton Poltergeist. Or wait, I almost said fucking Poltergeist. The Last of Us, you guys, finale.
Yes.
We're here. We made it. You heard it here first. We made it. We've been on this cross-country trek for the better part of a year. However long we've been here.
It was a long trek for some of it.
It was. I'd be like, can we not walk anywhere else? Well, I guess you only know walking. You don't really know cars. But
they had a car like 3 times.
Could you actually live with the memory of cars and not having them?
Yeah, that'd be really, really sad.
Wouldn't it?
Well, okay, I guess it depends on if you're like actually having to traverse the country and you have that memory. Yes, if you're like stuck at home and you just work the land out like a farm, then whatever, because you're never going to go anywhere.
Yeah. But yes, let's get into it. It's a shorter episode.
I was actually shocked. It was like 48 minutes, and that was counting the intro, the recap, and the after credits scene. like
and your face.
Yeah, and my face.
What's funny?
Apparently, my face, I guess.
Oh, you laughed. You giggled a little.
I did, because you threw in the end your face, which was funny to me.
Oh, well, whatever. So, you guys, this is it. Look for the light. Carol Ann, we're here. So, we kind of open up with a flashback, which we know is a thing. And we see this lady, a pregnant lady, a very pregnant lady.
Very. For as small as that baby was, a very pregnant lady. Yeah.
And obviously she's running probably from an infected. Who else was she running from? Well, I guess she running from people.
You hear the infected after like those, like they show her going through the forest and then she kind of stops and like listens, and I think you hear the infected do his little off in the background.
Yeah, you hear the infected in the background going, hooty hoo! And she's like, no, it's the infected. Could you imagine?
Oh my god, if that was it was out their call.
Like, hooty hoo! And you're like, oh, the infected are coming. Regardless, yes. So she's running. She's in distress. This bitch is in distress.
Mm-hmm.
And she is very barren. And we do see a coastline of distance, which I'm reading now is Boston, apparently. Which makes sense.
Yeah.
And we kind of learn that, I think we kind of I think we knew this. I think I kind of looked at it thinking, oh, it's a flashback. And I'll tell you how I knew it was a flashback. Because the girl, the pregnant woman, is Ashley Johnson, and she is the voice of Ellie in the games.
Yeah, like, well, and the fact that
So
I, I don't know, she looked like the face looked like Ellie, and I was like, okay, but we're not jumping forward however many years, and Ellie's not going to be pregnant because she's into girls. I mean, she
I
could be.
actually, yeah, I actually think Ashley Johnson kind of resembles Bella Ramsey.
Yeah, like I said, like she looks like Bella Ramsey. Like you could tell that they would be related somehow. Like I was like,
Yeah, they
so
look similar.
so I was like, I'm assuming this is her mother because I'm not going to assume it's like older Ellie. Like that doesn't make sense.
Right. But we do find out, fairly quickly that she is very close to labor, like extremely close, like within a centimeter of her vagina.
Oh no,
Close.
she's in labor. She's just not dilated.
I don't know what that means. But
How open is
obviously
she?
I have no idea. I have no idea what that means. But yes, so she, tries to lock herself in the house, but the infected finds her, uh, you know, comes at her, she stabbing a thing, kills it. And I guess through her exertion, she has just shut out this baby.
I so a yeah, she's in a house, but it's a house she knew about, and it appears to be a house that the Fireflies were using as a base. Because when she first came in, she even said, "Hey, it's me," and like gave her name. So she was expecting people to be there.
Right. I mean, we don't. I didn't assume it was fireflies. I just assumed that it was a house that she had been in with other people, and they obviously weren't there.
Okay, true. Yes, the Firefly thing. I'm
I didn't. You might have assumed that. I didn't.
I think I saw like red in the background. I was like, oh, that's the
Mm.
Firefly emblem. So that's probably what. But I think it was like a throw pillow. So like I assumed I saw red, which was the color of the Fireflies. But she obviously, like you said, comes in. She is expecting people there. She goes upstairs, barricades herself in a room to prevent this from happening, and then she like fully puts a hand down and goes, "Oh, I'm like in labor, like I'm completely ready to go." And like you said, then the infected bursts through the door, comes at her. The only thing she has on her is a knife, like a switchblade. And in the throes of the attack, she kills the infected. But like you said, the baby just pops out. It's like, there we go.
Yeah, I like how you just recapped everything I just said.
I added a little extra something, something.
Did you?
I did.
Did you?
Yes,
Did you?
I did.
Tell us about the switchblade. What's the importance?
This is a switchblade that Ellie has had her entire life. So this knife that she
Yeah.
carries on her all the time and
Yeah.
never wants to
Yeah.
go anywhere without. This is that blade.
Yeah. What a cute family heirloom.
I
You
was,
can't burn. You can't burn knives. This knife has been in my family for years. It's my Second Amendment right.
um,
Um. So sorry, I'm hating on everybody this week. Like this is my shit. I don't give a shit.
but
But yes. So she also realizes that she's been bit by the infected, and when she realizes she's been bit, she takes the knife and she cuts the umbilical cord from the baby.
very quickly, she's like, "Oh shit."
And obviously she sits there and she waits, and we do see later the people she expected to be in the house, finally make their way home, and it's dark outside. They finally make their way in. They know something's a little off. They see a window's been broken. They know that something's up, and we realize it's Marlene.
Hmm.
And she makes the way upstairs, gets into the room, and she sees Anna, on the floor with baby Ellie, and the infected is dead on the floor next to her.
Well, and she sees her thigh where the infected scratched or bit her, and it's starting to spread.
Right. And that's where Anna's like, I cut the umbilical cord before I was bit. Like, I cut the umbilical cord before I was bit. And she's like, okay, I need you to take care of this baby. We're best. You know that, like, they've been together. They're Marlene. We learn Marlene and Anna are best friends. They're best buds.
Like knowing each
BFFs.
other their entire life.
BFFs.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, BFFs. And she's like, take the baby, take care of the baby, kill me,
Well,
please.
and the fact that she's like, you have to kill me, not like just make sure it's done. Like no, she goes like, you, Marlene, are the one that has to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And Marlene even tells her that she can't do it, that she can't bring herself to do this. She's like, no. How long have we known each other? BFFs. You got to do it.
So yeah, she does. And then the flashback ends, and we are now back in the present.
Zoom in on Ellie, kind of like in her own head, having. I guess they're in Salt Lake City now because that's where they were heading, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So they're in the city,
But
and I'm assuming it's this one because even Joel comes up a little bit later and says that hospital was a bust. We'll head to the next one. So they're searching hospitals in a town.
yeah, and it's kind of weird how their demeanors have flipped
Mm-hmm.
because at the very beginning, Joel was the one who was quiet in his head, thinking about things, and Ellie was the one who was trying to get him to open up. And they've switched where is quiet, obviously because of the trauma, and he's trying to open her up. He's trying to say things and make like little jokes, and he's really just trying to like, you know, get her like, look, I found beefaroni, I found Chef RD. Ooh, do you like Boggle? We could play like he's really trying to like do what she did for him, which is like get him to kind of snap out of it a little bit.
Well, and this is the one I don't remember seeing any specification of how long it's been since that whole event with Brian and the cult kind of religious thing where they were eating people. Like that could have been yesterday. Still, I'm assuming it's not, but we don't know how much time of that trauma's passed. So
Regardless, it's trauma.
it is, but like that's what, like she's like in her head, like still working through that because it's still fresh.
Yeah. Uh, but they, regardless that they arrive, in town, they're still kind of going through, finding high ground, plotting where they should go next, because it's like there's high rises there. So uh, they during that, they're like, hey, we're gonna get the high ground, let's go to this building. She ends up seeing something crazy that really kind of lifts her mood.
Mm-hmm.
And what do they see?
So let me press real quick. So
What did they see? Answer the question. What did they see?
they see a giraffe.
Yay!
I was gonna preface that Ellie sees it because Joel like is on a floor below and she was trying to lower a ladder down to him and she like drops the ladder like on his head almost to go run after this giraffe. So Joel doesn't know what they saw, so he's worried that she's running off to somebody or something that's gonna attack her, and then pop around the corner, it's a giraffe, and apparently that was actually a real giraffe. They actually brought that on set to tape that.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, I
That's
was
actually a cool.
I know. I was actually impressed that they actually brought a giraffe and had like a giraffe handler like taking care of the animal to do this scene.
Yeah. So they Jurassic Park it, and they see a family of them down in the down on the field, baseball field, ballpark, whatever the hell it was.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is the one thing. Ellie's finally kind of like laughing and kind of seeming a little light. I think this really kind of gave her a lift.
It kind of made her
And
like similar to how she was the rest of the show, very light and airy. The person who talks more.
yeah, uh, so they actually are like they're kind of reflecting on all of that. They're looking at it. They think it's kind of cool and cute. And this is where Joel is kind of like, maybe this will be the time when there's nothing really bad, you know, but there's always been something bad that we have to like. He's kind of flipping again. Like, yes, we're happy, and now he's kind of flipped back to like, wait, like something always happens. What's next?
Well,
And somehow Ellie is the one that's a little bit more like poetic, and she's like, we're still here though.
well, and
You
and,
know,
and Joel, I don't know if he's like flipped to try to like cheer her up, but you can tell he's definitely a lot closer because he's starting to make jokes. He's even like when they were gonna talk about their next plan, he goes, "No, I thought we were gonna blow through the rubble. I found some dynamite over here in the RV." And I mean, Ellie was like, "What?" It's like he's cracking jokes, and then he talks about, "Oh, I used to play guitar all the time. I should find you a guitar and teach you how to play guitar. I think you'd be really good at it." So he's starting to like open up more, and like he I think is 100% accepted. Like this can be like a replacement for my daughter. Like I have a second chance with her.
I don't want to fight you on that line. I don't want to fight you on your word choice, but I don't think he looks at her as a replacement.
Okay, maybe again, maybe not a replacement, but like a second check. Then I'll go with more like a second chance to have somebody in my life, somebody that I can pass things along to. Maybe not as a replacement, but something similar. I mean, like, for lack of a better term.
I think what you're trying to say is I is that Joel is thinking maybe I have something else to live for now.
Yes.
You're welcome. So he, at this point, is maybe thinking, again, alongside that thought of there's always something bad. Maybe we should just go back. Let's just go back to Tommy and let's just live out our lives.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellie being like, she's kind of like, I don't know, poetic and whatever now. She's like, then everything we did is for nothing. Everything. And she's like, I have a purpose. I need to fulfill that purpose. And that's where she's like, so we have to continue going. We have to finish this. And Joel kind of, reluctantly agrees because it's her choice.
Well, and what did she even say? For some reason, it's in my head. I think she might have said it was, well, why do we even do why have we done all of this if we're not going to go ahead and finish it?
I think I just kind of paraphrased that.
Well, no, but I don't remember if she actually said that in the show.
I don't know her exact wording.
Okay.
But, I think as they're still walking through, Joel does bring up Sarah. Like, he's freely bringing her up.
Yes.
And, tells her a story about, Sarah and how they were kind of alike and how he, not really, like they were alike in some ways, but how he thinks they would get along. And then he jumps into the story about how he got the scar on his face.
Well, they were walking through like the Red Cross section, and she mentioned, I think she brought the scar because they're walking through, and she goes, "Oh, they did a better job of sewing you up than I did because that looks better than the stomach wound."
Well, I think they were walking. I don't even know. I honestly don't know the detail with that. But yeah, regardless, he started telling her the story about the scar again because before he told her that it was someone who shot at him and missed.
Which
but
isn't
in
false.
Reality, huh?
That's not false.
What?
That what he said is somebody who shot at me and missed. It's not the whole truth. He didn't lie. It's technically true. It's just not the whole truth.
I don't understand what you're on about.
Just never mind. Go on.
Explain.
You made the comment that he's telling her the truth now, that he got the scar because it was somebody, he said originally it was somebody who shot him and missed. Well, he never technically lied. So there's not really like a truth. He's just filling in the missing pieces.
Okay, which are?
The fact that the person who shot at him and missed was himself.
Are you going to elaborate, bitch? Come on, give me some, girl.
Every time I open my mouth in this episode, you seem to cut me off.
You got the story. Keep going. Run with it, girl.
So yeah, so see right here. Look, right here.
I'm passing the baton to you. You got it. Run, bitch. Run. Run, Forrest.
Mm-hmm. No, he mentions that it was himself that he tried to kill himself. He hit a low after Sarah's death, and he had literally put the gun to his head. And as anybody would, he got nervous and kind of had a twitch or pulled away. So the gun was away from his head, and so the bullet grazed him and didn't kill him, which is what caused the scar.
Yeah.
But that's where Ellie, she looks at him like, oh, that's not at all what she expected. Like, she was just eyes open and didn't know how to react to it.
Right. I think he's told us because he's like, hey, we all have lows.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, we all have really, really lows. I've been very low, but it's, all about, finding what else you can live for.
Yeah.
And I think as they're kind of walking through, they're kind of continuing their trek through this, they kind of come to understanding. Ellie starts reading puns again, and they both get attacked, knocked out by what I assumed was Fireflies at that point.
Yeah, I don't think they were raid. Like the first time I saw them, I was like, they're too well equipped to be raiders. So I assumed it was either Fedra or Firefly, someone who's got more firepower.
Right. So we end up Joel waking up, and we see Marlene, who's like, "Welcome to the Fireflies." Thanks, Marlene.
Wasn't she bleeding out though? Last time we saw her, didn't she get shot in the stomach?
Girl, I don't know what was going on with that bitch. Who knows? What is she, magic?
Exactly. I love the fact that she mentions, how did you get across this entire country and find us? I had a guard of 5 people just protecting me, and I almost didn't make it.
She's like, how did you get across here? How did you get across here, bitch?
Exactly. Why did
you, how did you get here before me? You could have took this bitch yourself, but somehow you got here before me.
Exactly. Like that's the whole one. Like you tasked me to bring her here, yet you got here first, and you was bleeding out, about to die last time I saw you.
Like, bitch, I don't understand, but whatever. You do you, boo boo. But yeah, regardless, Marlene got there first. Private jet, plane, helicopter. I don't know how she did, but she did
something.
And Joe's like, yo, where's Ellie? And Marlene's like, let's get you a snack first. Can we get him a juice pop? Or can we get him a what are those things called? The Kool-Aid squeezers? Jammers? Can we get him a Kool-Aid jammer?
Cherry?
And a Pop-Tart.
Cherry, right? Grape? What's your flavor?
Yeah, she's trying to offer up snacks, charcuterie boards and stuff, and he's like, no. Where's Ellie? And she's like, Ellie's fine. And this is where Marlene kind of tells him the whole story. Right?
I think that the thing that sets it off is she goes, she's fine. She's being prepped for surgery. And that's where Joel openly goes, surgery for what? Like, why is she in surgery? Tell me more.
You got the baton. Keep running.
All right, fine. So that's where Marlene ends up telling him that the doctor who is performing the surgery has a theory that due to the fact that her mom was scratch infected, whatever, while she was still attached with the umbilical cord, that some of the infection got into her and has grown up with her throughout her entire life. So it is putting off something so that if any new infection comes through, it makes them believe she's already part of them, that it doesn't need to grow inside of her. There's no reason to take over this body. It's already infected. So they're going to try to harvest this and create a vaccine that they can distribute across to everybody so that everybody has immunity to it so that they can't be infected. They can still be torn apart and killed by raiders, but they can't be infected anymore.
Right. And how they're going to do this?
Well, Joel very quickly points out that the infection grows in the brain of the infected, so they're going to have to harvest her brain.
Right. I mean, I remember this bitch signed up for organ donor sticker on her driver's license. Do you remember that bitch? Do you remember that?
No. And here's the thing.
Do you remember them going into a DMV on the way here and her signed up to be an organ donor? Do you remember that? I don't think I saw that.
It's on her passport. She has a little sticker there.
But yeah, this bitch ain't asked for that. So this is where Joel's like, unacceptable.
Like you didn't give her the chance to choose. Like that's not what she would want.
Right. And Marlene's like, look, I've known Ellie for a long time since she was born. Like I've known her. And believe me, like I understand that this is a gamble, but she's trying to reason with Joel a little bit. She's trying to be like, look, like, let's be reasonable, but don't but she's like, but fuck around, Joel, and find out. Is basically what she's saying.
Yes,
right. That's how I took it.
She pretty much is like, "Don't test me. Like, look, this is gonna happen. You just need to either accept it or get out. I will have my men walk you to the door."
Right. Like, look, drink your Kool-Aid jammer,
and
just chill. Now,
Uh,
now, if you want to fuck around and find out, I'm gonna take that Kool-Aid jammer, and then you go find out. So let's just be civil here.
this next synopsis. This
Them
is
Kool-Aid jammers are not easy to come by, Joel. God damn it, they're not easy to come by. You think you're a gift, and it's a green one, Ecto Cooler. Those are hard to find.
My God, you threw the Ecto Cooler out. What?
God, those are so good. Do you remember?
Yes, I haven't had one in years, but I remember.
Oh, the Ecto Cooler with Slimer on them. Jesus.
But
But yes, so Joel decides to choose violence, and they're like, "Well, you could escort your ass out, sit your Kool-Aid jammer down."
well, here's the
you
thing:
can go.
the fact, like what you just said earlier, that Marlene comeback was, look, I've known her for much longer. I know what she'd be willing to do and everything.
Yeah,
I saw
Yeah.
someone's take on this, and again, this is not my take. I haven't given it much, like a whole process, but someone's take on this was, really, you're gonna say you're the one that knows her the best when you gave her off to Fedra for 13 years, when you give her off to somebody to trek her across the country and not get the time to know her, you're gonna be the one that says you know her best? Hell no.
See, I don't think she said knew her. I just think she said I've known her.
More okay for longer. Okay.
But again, don't quote me.
But yes, like you said, so Joel puts down his ecto, his Kool-Aid jammer, and Marlene's like, look, leave all of his stuff here. You gotta leave the guns. Take his sack with him, and you all can walk him out to the highway and make sure he keeps walking.
Right. So already I'm like, bitch, you said it 2 people. Okay.
You just told me it took more than a caravan of 5 people protecting to get you here, and Joel got Ellie here on his own. Do you think that math equals out? I don't.
She's like Steve and Tyler. Steve and Tyler. Take him outside, please.
Mm-hmm.
And take his Kool-Aid jammer. We can't forget about that.
Yep.
So yeah, so they are the 2 security guards are leading Joel out very slowly, might I add.
Well, Joel's
down
taking
some
his
steps.
sweet time.
He is taking his time. I think he's casing the joint. I think he's looking around.
Oh yeah, he's seeing what floor he's on. He's reading the signs as he gets to the stairs. He's like, okay, we're on floor 4. Like he's reading what's on each floor.
Right. And they get to a stairwell, and Joel goes full on Jason Bourne in this episode. Full on Jason Bourne, Die Hard, John Wick, whatever you want to call a crazy person with a gun.
Yes.
Like he goes absolute like mayhem, killing spree. Quite literal killing spree throughout the hospital, just floor by floor. Jason Bourne it.
Let's just put it this way: they're like the whole time you're sitting here in this show and you're talking about all the Fireflies, and you see there's all these different places they've been, and they're all kind of like communing into one Salt Lake City area on the map. After this episode, I was like, did Joel just wipe out every single Firefly that's left? Like, are they gonna? Like, I don't feel like there's gonna be any of them left after this.
The only thing that can stop a bad guy with the gun is a good guy with the gun. Apparently.
So real quick, to just break down the scene. You said pure mayhem, but like just break down what Joel does. Just paint me a word picture.
I don't really like to do that. He just killed everybody. Like he killed everybody. I don't know. He just killed a bunch of. I'm not gonna go piece by piece through each murder. He killed every person in the hospital. Killed every Firefly. I don't want to say every Firefly because we don't know.
True.
But any Firefly that crossed his path, he killed or he shot.
Yep.
No, he killed because he shot that one guy in the knee or stabbed him, and then just for good measure, shot him in the head. So Joel was not taking any prisoners, and he finally finds the operating room in the pediatric ward.
Yep.
And there's the surgeon in there. And he says, no, you can't take her. Picks up a scalpel. And I'm like, wrong move, doc. And then Joel literally shoots him in the head and goes, hey, nurses, how about we untie her, please?
Well, I mean, like, good job bringing a knife to a gunfight, for real.
He bought a scalpel. I was like, Dr. Oz over here about to get it in the head.
The fact that he literally had like Joel had no remorse. There was no hesitation in any of these murders.
Well,
Well, and
I don't
here's
blame him.
like the music they had playing told me everything about his mental like his mental state. Because normally, if you're going through and having like a gunfight, you would assume the melody and the music would be like real up paced and kind of like jumpy, which would kind of reflect like the mental state of the guy going through to keep himself prepared. They played some like quartet like 4-string quartet violin music to show how calm and collected like he was. This was the easiest decision I think this man has ever made in his entire life with going through and wiping out this hospital.
No, I don't think I realized the music to be honest
Oh,
with you.
it was the most calming and most collected piece. Like it was the like just tranquil.
Was it?
Yes.
Twas.
Twas. Joel was literally in a just trance, just whatever
Thank
it
you for
takes.
picking that up.
Yes.
I love when you pick up what I'm putting down, even if it's the same stick. You know.
What,
you know,
I gotta do it. I gotta put my spin on it. I don't I mean I could just sit here and let you tell the whole story, and I could just like be breathing in the background like a creepy guy.
well, that's you do that anyway.
Oh,
So he gets he leaves the nurses.
yeah.
Somehow he's like the nurses can stay alive, and I wonder like afterwards I was like the nurses are probably like so like where do we go? Like what do we do? Like I just like literally after the show ended, I was like, they're probably like, so like, do we just leave? But like, where do we go now? Like, what do we do now? Like, they're just out there. Like, regardless, what they're gonna do is they'll get them Kool-Aid jammers and the Gusher snacks and live off those, I guess. But Joel leaves with Ellie. Yes. He gets in the elevator, which I was like, they have power, but I was like, obviously, of course they have power, but I just didn't think that at that time. And he sees a truck in the parking garage, hooked up to a battery.
Mm-hmm.
And as he's about to put her in the car, we see Marlene. And she, again, earlier, like upstairs when she was telling Joel, like, here's a Kool-Aid jammer, but fuck around and find out. Now he's switched the tables and he's like, fuck around and find out. Because she's like, you can't keep her safe forever. Because he was going to leave her. He was like, look, bitch, let me leave. I thought he was like, let me leave, but don't fuck around. And she said, you can't save her forever. You're going to die at some point, and she's going to grow up, and then she's going to leave, and then what? And you could have saved all these people, and blah, 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 which, to be fair, she's telling the truth.
Mm-hmm.
But then Joe's like, well, whatever, bitch, fuck you, and he shoots her in the face. Or shoots her, right?
Yeah.
Or no, she started to put her gun down, and he's holding Ellie, and he's just like, well, fuck it, I'm just going to shoot you in the face. Since you said she can't be safe forever, she can be safe from you, at least.
Well, he shot her in the stomach so that she, like he said, she was putting her gun, like she was going to back off, but like he definitely he saw the gun in his hand, and he shot her in the stomach first, which made her like drop to the ground. And that's when he puts Ellie in the car. And then he comes back and was like, oh, you know what? You made a good point. And that's when he finishes it off.
Yeah. So here we go on the road trip, on the road again.
Oh my God.
I don't know the next words.
They have a car.
Yeah, they have a truck, an SUV.
They have a nice car, apparently.
I don't know how they made it back to Jackson, Wyoming, because those things are gas guzzlers.
Well, so I saw, apparently Salt Lake City compared to Jackson, Wyoming, was only like 70 to 90 miles. It wasn't far.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cute to know.
So like going down to like the eastern Colorado University was like 3 times further than going to Salt Lake City from where they were. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they the truck breaks down on the way to Jackson, so they walk the rest of the way.
Yes.
And then they finally, Ellie wakes up in the car. Actually, Ellie wakes up before the car like breaks down. And Joel, she's like, what happened? And he was basically like, he basically starts lying and says, you're not the only one who's immune. There's lots like you, but the scientists couldn't really do anything. And they've given up on a cure.
Mm-hmm.
And then raiders attacked the hospital, and we had to rush you to safety. And he's like, people got hurt. And then she asked about Marlene, and he doesn't really answer the question.
Yeah, but you can tell like the fact that he didn't answer because he was answering everything else. She picked up on like, okay, Marlene's gone.
Right. So they but this is when the truck kind of like, sucks
Yeah.
and breaks down, and they walk the rest of the way to Jackson. And then Joel starts talking. This I said this earlier, but this is where he starts talking really openly about Sarah and about how like I think Sarah would have liked you, y'all would have gotten along together
Mm-hmm.
and stuff like that. Um, and he was just saying that Ellie, you're funny, that you would have made Sarah laugh, all this other stuff. Um, and then this is where Ellie shares what happened with her and Riley,
Which
right?
I thought Joel like I guess they did the flashback episode, but I assume she might have told him that already. But like you said, this seemed like the first time she opened up and admitted because he asked, "Have you ever killed someone?" in a episode way
Right,
earlier, and
right,
she said, "Yeah, I've had to kill someone before, but never really went into detail."
right. Exactly. You're fully right about that. And she tells him the whole story, and this is where he's like, he tries to give us some uplifting words of like, you really to kind of find something new to fight for, and they're kind of overlooking the Jackson at this moment, and Ellie is like, swear to me that everything you said about the Fireflies is true, and he swears, and you can tell she knows that he's lying, but she says okay.
Well,
And this is where the episode ends.
and again, this I know because I don't remember. I'm sure you don't. Did she say swear it and I'll drop it, like I'll never ask again, kind of thing? I felt like that was the deal, like swear it and I'll never bring it up again, kind of thing.
I don't think she said that.
Okay, that's because I was like trying to figure out like where season two might go because that's going to be something obviously they'll have to talk about and bridge that subject later.
I think I know a little bit about how season two starts, but that's based on me playing an hour or two of the second game.
Okay.
I don't know if you want to know or not.
I saw a spoiler about a character
Uh,
in
this, this
Last of Us 2. Yeah.
all I well I never mind. I'm not going to say anything because I don't think it's a spoiler, but I don't know, and I don't want you to say yours,
Okay.
so
Fair
I'll
enough.
just not say anything. So what would you rate this episode?
Ooh, I'm gonna give this an 8.5.
Yeah, I think but I would agree. I think the thing with this show is that it was. I think it kind of makes you redefine what an action show is, because this
Mm-hmm.
show isn't very action heavy, and I think I think I was waiting for that in a way, and yeah, we got it in some spaces, but it definitely isn't an action TV show. I still think if I had to say if I had to talk about which episode I thought was the best, it still is episode 3. Just the story they wove in that episode to me was just an amazing piece of television. As a whole, though, I am very interested to see how season 2 goes. Um, I hope they continue on the same kind of route that they're doing with this, which I would assume they are.
Yeah.
But I thought it was a pretty good story. Yeah, I think as a whole, I think I would give the season as a whole an 8.5 as well.
Well, and that's
Your thoughts?
the season as a whole. It was consistent. I mean, everything we gave, like the lowest I think we gave was a 7. It was always consistent in steady around a 7 to a 9 range. Always really good. Even that they didn't bring in a lot of the infected, still there was enough of it. You got the urgency of what that is, and it very much showed like where other zombie movies and post-apocalyptic movies like they really like the only thing you have to worry about is the zombies. Where this and like The Walking Dead showed you like you need to worry about the other people too. Like there's not just the infected. And I like how they wove that in. That it's not like you like humanity's gone, but you still have to worry about humanity. Um, but yeah, it just again consistency is what made me love it the most, and it's more or less a story show, and like the whole point of I think the game was also that the story was just that good. It wasn't great action. It wasn't a great like reinvention of what games are. It was just the story's that great, and I agree. The story was amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I enjoyed watching it.
Mhm.
Also, I enjoyed this emergence of Pedro Pascal, because he is obviously great, and I'm in love with him.
Is he
So-
daddy? Or is he father?
He can be whatever the fuck he wants to be. And to be fair, like, he's for sure like a Mary.
Mm.
Like, he's not just a fuck; he's a Mary. Like, he's husband material. Like, I fully believe like he is husband material. He's making you breakfast in the mornings, like on the regular. You know, he's rubbing your feet on when you're on the couch watching movies. Like he's that. He's husband. You know.
Yeah.
Like, he's taking care of you. He's making you laugh on the daily.
No,
I don't think you're sharing my enthusiasm about this. Like, why aren't you as enthused?
Pedro Pascal is amazing as an actor and everything. He's done a great job. I just don't know if I would want to wake up and have him cook me breakfast. That's a little weird because I'd have to wonder what I did the night before.
You would have done whatever he fucking asked you to do. Let's get that straight. Would you have degraded yourself a little bit? Yeah. If he asked you to, you would. So there.
Do I need a new shower?
You ain't gotta wonder. You ain't gotta wonder what you did. You did whatever he asked you to do. Okay.
Do I need to go to church and ask for forgiveness? Probably.
No, Pedro Pascal's there. He's got you.
Oh, okay.
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 We ain't having this conversation again. Like, you know, I'm about to think about what I did. No, you don't. You did what he asked you to do. Without complaints.
That's funny.
No complaints, no, but no. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You got it.
Yes. Yes, Pedro.
Great. Yay. There we go. Last of Us. In the can.
I'm very excited for
this.
season 2.
We have to do better on these recap shows, though.
Okay.
Well, maybe not we. Maybe I have to do better.
Oh, are we having like?
I'm very confrontational on these. Do not agree. Do not agree. Just let me say what I'm saying, because if you agree, I'm gonna take it back. I'm a little confrontational. I don't like to give you the reins, but when I give you the reins, I like to have my hands on the reins. So I fully understand that. So I'll do better. I'll vow to do better.
I feel like this is the conversation
I care deeply about you.
I feel like this is the conversation Pedro has with me in the morning. Like, look, I don't want you to have the reins, but when I do let you have the reins, I like to have my hand on there with you to guide you, to lead you to the right way. Like this is the conversation.
Pedro. I'm slowly just pulling them away. But you know, regardless, that's between me and my own inner demons. I can discuss those, with my imaginary therapist. So I appreciate doing this with you. This was great.
Yeah, it was a blast. I like doing these recap episodes. I kind of want to do one more this year. We'll have to figure something else out.
We'll see. I don't know if my brain can take it. But we'll see.
Okay.
We should be back to our regularly scheduled episodes with you guys as this is done. So stay tuned for our weekly drops on Mondays.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Going forward. So yeah, I'm excited. So we will talk to you all very soon.
All right. Bye. You've been listening to Watch or Not with Jay and MJ.
Interact and give us suggestions on what to watch at watchornotpodcast@gmail.com.
You can follow us on Twitter at watchornot_pod.
And don't forget about Instagram, you guys, at watchornotpod.
Don't forget you can support the pod by joining our Patreon at Watch or Not with Jay and MJ.
And subscribe and leave a review wherever you guys listen to podcasts. Talk to you soon.